I think so.
Right here.
Okay, I guess I'm gonna run this meeting because Kenny's on the phone, but other than that. Start with the roll call.
George Simpson, here.
Anybody else here?
Okay, Ken and Eric.
We had Kenny and Eric, Clay Tucker here. Here.
Are you here?
Sawyer Davis here.
Yeah.
I was told not to vote or anything, is that?
You're
Okay.
here.
You're here.
Okay, I'm here.
Start with the Pledge of Allegiance next. Oh, I forgot to approve that.
Pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now we can approve and adopt the agenda.
All right, Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve and adopt the agenda as written for this meeting.
Have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Ken seconded.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. All right, on to number 5, swear in the Zone 4 School Board Trustee Sawyer Davis.
All right, Sawyer, please stand. And just repeat after me. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Idaho,
and the Constitution of the State of Idaho,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of trustee of Garden Valley School District 71
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of trustee of the Garden Valley School District number 71
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard.
I'll stand up.
We're handshaking.
Yeah. Okay, congratulations, Sawyer. Thanks for volunteering for that. On to number 6, community forum. Anybody?
I don't have anyone that signed up for community forum.
All right, I guess we'll move on to number 7 then. Executive session. We ought to have a executive session hiring and for resignation.
Okay, Mr. Vice Chairman, I move that we move into executive session pursuant to Idaho Code 74-206, Section 1, subsection A.
Second.
And
Should we
subsection
get
B.
amendments or add and B on? B.
Yep, thank you.
A and B, sorry.
So we have a motion to go into executive session under Idaho Code 74-2061A and 1B. We have a second.
Second.
A motion and a second, we need a roll call vote.
George Simpson?
Eric Blue, aye. Sorry.
Aye.
Sawyer Davis, aye.
Kenny, you there?
Yep, Ken Donnelly, aye.
Clay Tucker, aye. All right, we will begin our, get ready? Okay, coming out of executive session, we're gonna start with some new business action. Item number 8.1, create an open assistant guidance counselor position. I don't know if you or Craig wants to talk about that.
Sure, I can speak to that a little bit. So we have a lot of demands on our SPED director / counselor. And because of those demands and everything that's encompassed with the behavioral side of counseling as well as the academic guidance counseling side, there was a real need for an assistant guidance counselor. So because of that, we are creating this part-time position.
Is there any questions?
No, I think it's going to be a good idea for our school to get this moving forward. It seems like something we needed here for a while anyway, so it'll help teachers out. So I will make a motion that we open the assistant guidance counselor position.
Second.
All right. Yeah, perfect. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, new business item number 2, discuss community school grant requirements. Superintendent Spafford.
Sure, so we are very fortunate in that we were able to re-enroll in the Community Schools Grant with United Way. And that is going to provide a lot of resources for the school for our students who wouldn't necessarily have these resources otherwise. With that, there is the requirement that we create a community schools coordinator position. And fortunately, we have already somebody on staff who is qualified to fill that position. And we can speak about that at a later date. But for now, what we need to focus on is creating this position, so we're fulfilling that part of the grant.
Okay. That's part of the criteria of the grant, is to have that.
Correct.
There, okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Any other
Thank you
questions?
for your efforts on that too, by the way.
My pleasure.
I know that this was one of the things that almost got dropped at our school, so we're fortunate that we get done with this moving forward too.
No questions for me?
Okay.
Have a motion on that one?
Okay, so I'll move that we create a community school coordinator position, and that would be item number 1, and then
I think we just have
I think we just have
That's it for now.
to, so,
Second.
yeah.
Okay, we have a motion to create a community school coordinator position, and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 I think there was 2 ayes there.
There was.
Okay. Aye? Unanimous motion carries.
Okay. Thanks, Ken.
Very good.
Okay, moving on to old business. 8B, item 1, discuss,
Are we skipping number 2?
oh, did we,
She
sorry, I
said-
did skip 2.
So I didn't know if we had to do a motion or 2 motions, so I'll just make a separate motion for 2 then. So I move that we move the internal transfer of current staff to fill that community school coordinator position with that person.
May I speak to that?
Sure.
Momentarily. So Bundy Stevens has been filling that part-time position for a state grant. It was almost like an entry to a community schools grant, and really the first step, whereas this year it will be a full implementation of the community schools grant. So because of her experience with that and her relationship to United Way in this realm, I do recommend that we hire Bundy Stevens as the full-time community school coordinator.
Okay.
And this also has support from United Way.
Okay, well, thank you for that, Superintendent Spafford. So I will make a motion then that we hire Bundy Stevens as our community school coordinator position, and that'll fulfill the second thing.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to hire or transfer, I'm not sure. Transfer Bundy Stevens to be the community school coordinator. Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Okay, now moving on to old business, discuss hiring elementary teachers. Superintendent Spafford?
Yes, we have some vacancies in elementary, and so this week, the hiring committees and I have been diligently working through interviews and toward finding the best candidates for those open elementary positions. And it is our recommendation to hire the individuals discussed in executive session.
Okay. So, in light of what we discussed in executive session, I'm going to make a motion that we hire elementary teacher Angela Mescal for grades 2 and 3.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to hire Angela Mescal for 2nd and 3rd grade. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Okay, item number 2, discuss hiring paraprofessionals. Craig Kimball, you want to talk about
I
that?
want to talk about any of it, or, I know we already discussed some executive, but there's Can you discuss the need for it, or?
So, yeah, so that, to be compliant with IEPs is necessary to make sure that we have a sufficient number of aides hired to provide the services as required in the IEPs. As we were going through the interview process, there's paraprofessionals, there's title, there's BIs, different designations allow them to do slightly different things. And as we look at this need, we want to make sure that we're hiring individuals that will cover the greatest amount of demand. So there was some conversation about how to do that. There are 3 people that I think were, was it 2 or 3?
I actually have 4.
4.
Okay. So there's 4 people that are being hired, that are being recommended for being hired from the interviews that took place this past couple of weeks. And that will meet our minimum requirement for special education coverage. And then when it comes down to how we actually utilize those people, we intend to utilize them in a way that will be able to service more than just the currently identified student needs. So when we're able to do that, we're able to catch students that have a growing need before they reach the point where they need to have an assigned individual.
And when you say minimum requirement, that's like a state or a federal minimum requirement, right?
Well, the requirement is whatever is outlined in the IEP. So if they say a student needs to have a one-on-one aid for the entire day, then that would be the minimum requirement. That can be reduced through having conversations in IEPs and providing other supports. We could go ahead and have a fade plan that would reduce over a few months from having 8 hours a day coverage to having 4 hours of coverage, which would then reduce the need, that's the minimum standard for them. So right now, we're trying to make sure we fill the positions that were required by law to keep us compliant. The goal is to move towards a point where those individuals will be able to service a broader number of students to provide services and supports before they're identified as needing an IEP or a 504 or a more restrictive one-on-one type of support.
That's great information, Director Kimball, thank you. So in light of what we discussed in executive session, sorry, I'm not.
No, go ahead.
Just have it.
Would you like to say anything on that?
Well, just to reiterate, there are federal laws that dictate that we must provide these services to students as part of their civil rights. So.
You guys have any questions? Anybody? No?
All right, so in light of all of that, thank you again, Director Kimball, thank you, Superintendent Spafford. I move that we hire for paraprofessional positions Laura Lefevre, Tia Stewart, Ann Jeanette Whiting, and Stacy Main.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to hire these 4 paraprofessionals. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Okay, moving on to number 3, discuss hiring CTE teacher, Superintendent Spafford.
I do want to backtrack a little bit and actually discuss the SPED piece a little bit more. Because of our compensatory action plans that have taken place due to some things that have transpired before my time with the district and litigation, we are required as a district to provide more services than in the realm of special education than maybe traditionally thought to serve this number of students. However, taking into consideration our obligation to fulfill those requirements and our students' needs, there is a must for hiring this number of staff members in special education. So I do apologize for backtracking there.
No problem, clarification is always good.
Good. But are there any questions or concerns from the board regarding that?
No, I understand the need for it, and I'm sure most of the public understands the need, that due to some things that transpired in the past, that we were following basically what the law is requiring us to do, state law. So we're working through that.
And it definitely highlights the needs that are in our continuous improvement plan as well.
Yes.
So we're fulfilling parts of our SIP continuous improvement plan that we have yearly with this too.
Yep, thank you for that.
Now you can talk about the CTE teacher.
You betcha. So for CTE, we have expanded it from just the graphic design piece and are moving on to include an automotive portion this year. We're very excited because we had one standout applicant for this position. And so the hiring committee is recommending that we do hire that applicant. I'll let the board speak.
Okay, yeah, and
Any questions,
Yep.
comments?
I'm super excited about this one.
You want to say anything back there?
I'm just grateful for the opportunity to, if we can get this done, is to give the kids another outlook on life other than college, traditional college. I think it will be a great launch point for some of our students that may not choose that path.
Well said.
And I know we all appreciate your stepping up and fulfilling that role too, Ben. And in light of that, I'm going to move that we hire CTE teacher Ben Fackrell for auto CTE.
Second.
We have a motion to hire Ben Fackrell for auto CTE teacher. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Okay.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you.
Okay, discuss hiring part-time vice principals. Superintendent Bassett?
Did we do
We did do 4.
Oh, did I skip one?
Back to 4, please. Thank you.
Zip. Back to item 4 then. We'll discuss hiring sped teacher. Craig, you want to talk about this?
Sure. During the recent interviews, we have an applicant who is qualified, very eager, and looking forward to the opportunity. They're recently moving to this area and want to make a difference in students' lives. So the person has little experience in special education, but we've discussed a plan of support and mentoring to make sure that the teacher is supported and will be successful in fulfilling their duties and responsibilities. We had a great interview with the individual, and we feel like they'll be a strong candidate for our special ed student needs.
Great.
Stafford, do you want to add anything to that?
No.
Okay. Anybody have any questions?
No.
You want to make a motion?
Okay, so I'll make a motion that we hire sped teacher Cindy Berg for that role.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to hire Cindy Bird for sped teacher. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Okay, now on to the vice principals, item number 5.
Okay.
Would you like to talk about these?
Please, yes. So I'm very excited to recommend to the board that we continue to have Michelle Ogle in the role of part-time vice principal, and we also had another standout candidate. So the responsibilities will be split amongst these 2 roles if the board accepts, and the other candidate is exciting because she has a lot of experience in special education and is qualified in different areas that really complement the staff that we currently have. So it was the hiring committee's decision that Allison Barber be considered for hiring as the second vice principal.
Okay. You guys have any questions? I ask you to just briefly explain the kind of the roles you see as vice principal?
Sure. So there are a lot of roles that fall under the administrative side. To start with, we've got all of the federal programs, regulations. So we've got, in this district, we have a need for a Title I teacher to oversee the title paras that we have. And to give you an idea of the background, we were funded last fiscal year for 2 title paras, but we do not receive additional funding for a title teacher. So putting that responsibility onto one of the administrators' plates is a great way of having, those multiple hats being worn in a way that doesn't hurt our bottom line. Title IX is under that federal program's umbrella as well. 504 falls under that too. So many of these different items, this candidate already has experience doing. So, and she's been teaching and in a director role for years in the state of Idaho. So she's familiar with Idaho regulations and laws.
Yeah.
In addition to those federal regulations and laws.
Yeah, thanks for that. Just having multiple vice principals, let the people know that there is lots of work for both of them to do.
Yes, and I do want to talk about the scheduling a little bit because Mrs. Ogle will be teaching art for part of her day. We have a need for a secondary administrator to have an open schedule. So the purpose of this and staggering the schedules is so that when needed, if I get pulled into superintendent duties, I can focus on that while other duties within the building are still getting the attention they deserve. And it will really help with the full structure, especially if somebody has to be out of the building.
Will this new vice principal be fulfilling like the full 186-day schedule, like?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, thanks. I don't think we need the full conversation that we had in executive, but that answers a lot of what's going on.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I move that we hire vice principals Allison Barber and Michelle Ogle for fiscal year, or school year 2024-2025.
Okay, we have a motion to hire Allison Barber and Michelle Ogle as vice principals for 2024-2025 school year.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. Okay, item number 6, discuss hiring contract services and bids for business manager.
So the responsibilities that fall under the purview of the business manager, we put out a call for proposals for those services to be met and weren't satisfied with what we received. However, we did have some applicants for this position, and there was one really big standout applicant. And the hiring committee is recommending that we select that applicant and move her into this role. And I do want to speak to this applicant. Debbie Updike is her name, and she is currently the kitchen manager here. She has been fully balancing the books and working with all things food here independently. She also has experience in accounting as well as college credits in accounting. So basically this will be an expansion of her role, and then we're going to support her through that transition. That's what the hiring committee is recommending.
As a board trustee, I appreciate that we're looking internally as well as externally and looking at all avenues to fill this role, which was what we asked for. So thank you very much for following up on that. Yeah. And I don't have any more discussion.
Sawyer, anything?
No, I agree completely.
I would also like to mention that Debbie does have a desire to continue in the kitchen manager role. insofar as the finances are concerned. So this truly is an expansion of what we've previously had at the district in several different ways.
Yeah.
It's a very different position.
Okay, so I will move that we hire Debbie Updike for business manager for 2024, 2025, I believe.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to hire Debbie Updike for business manager for 2024-25 school year. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Okay. Item 7, discussed IT needs, contracting services, and bids. Superintendent Spofford?
Similarly to the business manager responsibilities, we did put out an RFP for IT needs for the district. And ultimately, amongst the bids that we received, there was one standout from Gvsd Technical Services. And they're basically offering full support for the district, including a helpline and an email address with immediate response time. They are also going to be sending out, if accepted, a technician once every other week to the school district and having full summer, the wording is tricky here, like a full summer reset, because there are a lot of needs as far as tech goes in the summertime, so they're offering that as well. And for the 12-month contract, it's my understanding that they would be willing to offer those services for $20,000. I do want to also touch on one of the reasonings for how attractive this bid is, and it's because Gvsd Technical Services, they specialize in providing tech to rural districts in Idaho. They're a local company, and this is what they do. I know several superintendents in other rural districts similarly sized and similarly remote that rave about their services. So we're thrilled to recommend that we use this local company and at this rate that doesn't hurt our bottom line comparatively to what we've done in the past.
So, and I don't know if you can answer this question right now, but I do know that one of the concerns was that how will we get technical assistance in person at our school? So I don't know if you talked about that yet, but.
No, that's a great question. So we have discussed that. I've discussed it with Mr. Morris, the manager there, and they will train us on things like server reset. So if a server goes down, I'll know how to go into the server room and flip it and reset it. For other concerns, like if a student's Chromebook breaks in the middle of the day, we'll have a Chromebook cart where we can, we have the barcodes, so we can exchange the Chromebook while tracking it. And then once the technician is on site, the technician will make repairs or order parts if necessary, and anticipate our needs for that coming week, 2 weeks. So
I'm guessing that as they build a track record with us, they'll see, okay, they're obviously having a bunch of these broken.
Right.
We should maybe get more of those going on. Okay.
absolutely, and they do the most of the legwork as far as ordering goes, and they're really effective. They won't order outdated Chromebooks that won't run the state testing software, for example.
And so to be
Because they
clear,
specialize in it.
I'm sure their contract will be all posted and everything, but
Mhm.
what they're offering, but to be more clarifying, this would be for services, and they have to be parts, of course, that's going to be over and above, and if we're ordering new stuff, right?
Correct,
Okay.
correct. As is the case right now,
It would
we
be
do
the
have to
case.
pay for the products.
Okay.
That's great.
You guys are good with the 20,000 in the 1-year contract?
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept Western Valley Technical Services bid for IT needs.
Okay. I will second that.
Okay, we have a motion to accept Western Valley Technical Services bid for IT. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Okay, last item, we're gonna have a discussion on the parking lot conditions. Bids for asphalt and sealing and budget. With Superintendent Spafford and Ken Donnelly.
So as you may have noticed, our parking lot needs a little bit of extra care at the moment. While it's not an immediate need, if we preempt the repairs to it, we'll be in better shape going forward. And that will help circumvent any further damage from occurring because of the current state and what the future state will be. So this really is beneficial twofold. And it's my belief that we do have it in the budget to make one of these bids work. And I will let Chairman Donnelly talk more to this extent if he wishes.
Ken, you're up.
Sure. Yeah, you guys hear me okay?
Can you turn it
Yeah,
up?
can you hear him, Steve?
Not too well, but
If you can turn it up, that would be great, so we can have it
So
recorded.
I reached out to 4 different contractors. I heard from 3. I worked up some quantities. We had 163 parking spaces. It was about 140,000 square feet of asphalt surfacing to seal coat. That's just the roadways and the parking lots. One of the contractors actually provided in their quote to seal coat the asphalt areas in the playground out back as well. And as a result, their quote's quite a bit higher. So I reached out to Seal Master. They're the product supplier for commercial grade seal coat material, and it's called Seal Master Liquid PPM. All of them were quoting on the same, using the same material. And all 3 are local companies. 2 of them are from Horseshoe Bend, one's from Emmett, and they do work up in our area in McCall and Horseshoe Bend all the time. So they know their product works good in our climate. The bids range from $22,500 to $58,700. And the big range there, like I said, is that one company provided for the additional work out back. Plus, not only were they repairing the utility patch that goes across the parking lot to that transformer, but they were also going to make that into like a speed bump. So mount it to where, because I think some people prefer that to slow down vehicles through our parking lot. Anyway, that's basically what we came up with. The low bid is $22,500. I would recommend going with the low bid since it's all the same material. They were, everybody recommended double coating, said they would put 2 coats down. It includes striping as well, and crack sealing.
Wow. Okay.
All 3 of them visited our school too before they gave our a quote, so they're familiar with the condition of our asphalt.
Who was the low bid again, Ken?
The low bid is HD seal coating out of Horseshoe Bend.
Okay. That is actually a pretty good price.
Yeah.
I just got my
And I
driveway.
think he mentioned that he did the Chevron over there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
Thanks for the research you did on that.
yeah, appreciate that.
yep, no problem.
Okay.
Is there any questions?
No, I can tell you guys, though, I just paid $2,500 for 9,000 square feet of my house, and extrapolate that out, it's $39,000. Seal coating.
Okay,
They're gonna do striping, good, yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I feel like they were very motivated to give us a good price. It seemed like all of them were willing to come up and look over our facilities, and they were trying to be very competitive on a big project like that.
Okay.
Any questions?
No?
You're confident that there's $22,500 in the budget for this?
Yes.
Good enough for me.
Okay. I'll make a motion.
Also, just real quick, I asked them about their schedule, their availability, and they said they could get it done before the school year starts.
Yeah, that's pretty much, but those guys can deal with that. Okay, so I'll make a motion that we approve HD seal coating to do the asphalt and sealing repair and striping on our parking lot.
Okay, we have a motion to a second.
Second.
Motion and a second to hire HD seal coating. I'm gonna ask the. I think it's fine. Well, we have a motion and a second. No, I was just questioning your motion for a second. but I
Oh,
think
with
you're good.
yeah, I can take that.
Yeah, I think it's
The
fine.
asphalt repair, because you're not really doing the repair, right?
I think it's fine.
Hey, Ken,
They're gonna repair a little
Maybe
bit.
they are. Ken, they're gonna repair some of the bigger cracks, right? That's what they said?
They're gonna fill.
Yeah,
Okay.
here, actually, before we vote, how about let me go through their quote real quick.
Yeah.
So they said asphalt seal coating, $21,000, 1-year warranty. They're using the Seal Master PMM Liquid Road, 2 separate coats for extreme weather. They're using Crapco highway grade hot rubber, fill all major cracks that are a 1/2 inch or bigger. Crack repairs included.
Yeah.
Cleaning, they're using industrial blow with a Billy Goat 18 horse blower, power broom all heavy debris, dirt from asphalt, power route all major cracks to ensure that the rubber will be secure. And then for professional line striping and painting was an additional $1,500, so their total bid was $22,500.
And were all the warranties the same?
I believe so. That's probably standard because they were all using the same material.
Okay.
Okay, well, so I'm just gonna reiterate my motion there. So I move that we hire HD seal coating for asphalt crack repair and sealing as well as striping for our parking lot.
Okay, I like that motion.
A second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
All 5 of us. Unanimous. Motion carries. Okay, we will adjourn this meeting until August 21.
Thank you.